It's David Ballard here at East Coast Honda, presenting you the 2018 Honda CR-V. This particular one I have here behind me is the EX-L with navigation option and all-wheel drive option on this particular one. Now, of course, those are both optional and you can get them with or without, but I'm using this one here as an example. White is probably one of the more popular colors, so we're going to go over some of the highlighted features here on the 2018 Honda CR-V. This debuted in 2017 and has continued and has remained unchanged since then. So we're going to get into it from here and give you an aerial view of the outside of the vehicle and some of its aesthetics. Talk about on the CR-V is the new design for the motor, which features a 1.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder front wheel primarily driven engine that debuted on the 16 CR-V, or excuse me, 6 Civic, and has since made its way into the Accord and now of course your CR-V. So big thing on this is going to be economy, so you're going to get a lot of miles per gallon out of this engine. It's also virtually maintenance free up to 100,000 miles, so you're not going to have to worry about doing a lot of exponential maintenance to keep this engine going longer. One of the things I love pointing out is how spacious this is. So for long-term ownership, when you're getting it serviced, whether it be from Honda or an independent dealer, you're going to find that maintaining this particular Honda and most all others to be very inexpensive. Your windshield washer fluids right up front here. You got your oil dipstick, which is highlighted orange, so you can actually see that and get to it very easily. You got your air filter up under here. You got your main fuse box, your battery, which is located up under the vehicle, or, excuse me, not under the vehicle, up under the hood here, so it's nice and easy to get to. So if you had to make a quick change at a parts store or anywhere else, you'll find doing that is very easy. Then right next to us, of course, you have your brake reservoir. So that's about it here. I'm not going to get super technical here. All you need to know is that this is going to keep you going a really long time. Here at the back door behind the driver's side, see how wide that door is? Makes getting in the vehicle a lot easier. So as I get in, sliding in is going to be very effortless. Once we get in, the big thing to point out is how much leg room you have. Now the driver's seat is all the way back, so if we obviously push this up for the average person, we're going to gain a lot of leg room here. But even so, with that being said, I've got a lot of room right here. Now coming over here to the middle, you've got vents in the back for your passengers, so everybody will stay nice and cool. And the next thing I love to point out on the EX-L and above are the 2.5 amp USB charging ports in the back, so it makes staying connected a lot easier and getting all that power that we need. Featuring in the middle is an opposable third row seat. You pull this down, you gain another 2 actual cup holders here in the middle. One thing I love to point out is you do have another cup holder here in the door, which will fit a 20-ounce bottle of Gatorade. If you decided to put that there, or maybe a tumbler, if that is something that you use. I love pointing out on the back of the the passenger seat here is a pocket to keep maps, visors, anything else that you might want to store to grab quickly as you're getting out of the vehicle. And then obviously this is your front view from the back seat here, so you can see it's nice and elegant, simple, and easy of use is the idea we're going for here. You got a couple of different options you can use to open up your back hatch here. Number one is the most traditional way, where you walk up to the back here, you put your hand under your back tailgate and you press your button, or in this case if you have one that has a manual door, you'll press that button, unlocks, and then you pull it up manually with your arms. Once open, you've got a nice large cargo room here, which can fit about 2 to 3 sets of golf clubs. So if that's your thing, you'll find that that's easy to do in the CR-V. Stepping up a little closer, you've got your standard floor mats, which come on all CR-Vs, so you don't get charged anything extra for those. You got a removable cargo trunk tray here, which is pretty sweet. If you go to the beach, go to the grocery store, you get this dirty, you can just pull it out, rinse it off, stick it back in there, and it keeps your carpet and the rest of your vehicle in the rear nice and clean. Now, one of the big questions I always get asked, does the CR-V and any other Honda have a spare tire? And absolutely. All Hondas come standard with a spare tire, which is the same size as the rest of your vehicle's rims, which keep your vehicle level when you're driving down the road so that you won't be lopsided, have an uneasy feeling when you're driving down the road. So that's a big deal when dealing with purchasing a brand new vehicle. So of course that comes with all of the tools necessary to make that change that are in this pouch here, and of course you have your press to get the vehicle up off the ground. So putting this back down, this is what I would call level 1. As you can see, you have this difference right here, okay? If you grab your level here, I like to call it, you can actually make the rear level with the rest of the vehicle. Now you're probably going to say, well, what's that for? So on the CR-V, you've got these nice levers, which if you grab this lever and pull, it will actually push your seat forward for you automatically. You can do that on both sides. That creates a nice flat level surface, which makes sliding things in and out of the back of the vehicle nice and easy. Now, one of the things you're probably saying is, well, what about the cargo tray you had mentioned? So if you take that, you can actually slide it in here very easily. Then once you have that in there, take it back down, it's hidden away. So it's not going to be in your way when you are putting whatever it is in the back of the vehicle. One of the really cool things I like to point out, since you're moving to a vehicle, an SUV that obviously doesn't have a trunk, you're probably going to wonder, well, how do I keep the things in the back of the car safe? Well, all EX and above CR-Vs come with this privacy shade here, which you enable, and you can close the hatch, and then obviously if somebody looks into the back, you can't see what's back there. So putting this back down is pretty simple. You can let it hang, or you can use my favorite position, which is clicking it up like that, and then it holds itself in place. You also have cargo lights here, which you can turn on and off really easily. Obviously, you're going to want to keep those on so that at night when you are shopping or putting something in the back, you will be able to see what's going on back here. Now, let's talk about closing it. Let's put our mats back in here. Okay. So closing it, you got a couple different options. Obviously, you can close it the same way, which you're going to use this button right here to close your back tailgate. Now, one of the things I love pointing out, and now remember, this is on an EX-L and above for your power option. If you go to an EX, this will be manual. You can actually program this tailgate height. So if you have a garage, or maybe you're a little shorter than the average, you can program this so that you can actually press this button and access it when you're in the vehicle. So if you press and hold that button, it will program that height. So next time you open and close the vehicle hatch, it will come up and stop at this very moment and at this very point. So pressing that button will close our hatch. And there we go. Big things I love pointing out is the fact that the EX-L and above has dual memory linked seat settings, which are synced to your remote. So anytime you press your unlock button when you're driving the vehicle, it will automatically adjust your seat setting preference when you're getting in the vehicle. So it makes getting in easier. So if you have somebody who's a little shorter than you as your partner, that will make living with them a little bit easier, because obviously if they're shorter and you go to get in the vehicle, then you might take your knees out. So stepping up here to the steering wheel, everything is mounted from the steering wheel here, so you can access just about everything the car has to offer. You can adjust your volume here by just using your button over your thumb, and you can lower that as well. You can also click if you find that to be easier. You've also got a lot of options here. So the middle of this dash is full LED. So everything is customizable, changeable. Of course, you've got your RPMs that go across the top, miles per hour, what gear you're currently in. The setting I have it set right now is the most typical, which is your range A. So you've got how many miles till empty, your average fuel economy, how many miles per gallon you're currently getting. And then down below that, you got the temperature, your mileage that is on the vehicle, and of course, what time of the day it is. Off to the right, you've got your gas, which your gas door is located on the left side. Anytime you need to know, if you look at your little gas man down here, it'll actually have an arrow pointing to the side of the vehicle that it is currently located. Over here you of course got your temperature. So with the button down here, if you press this here, which is the information button, this will actually change what you see up here. This particular model, like I had mentioned earlier, has navigation, so you'll display navigation, which direction we're currently pointing in, and when you have navigation active, it'll actually show you the road name and which way you need to be going next. Moving on to the next one, you've got an driver alert setting, which just keeps you safe while driving. It monitors your driving habit per se, so if you are not being as attentive, that will start to fill up, and as it does, it will issue you alerts. Going on to the next setting, you've got, now this particular model has an all-wheel drive system, so this will actually display your torque settings and your power levels on your vehicles as you're driving down the road. So if you start getting slippage, you'll see the power transfer between the wheels. Any maintenance that might be due, which also displays your oil life percentage, will display itself here. You can also display what it is you're currently listening to on the radio. And of course, if we had our cell phone connected, it will display our phone name and any kind of conversation we might be having. So if we're on the phone with somebody, it'll display their name, number, and how long you've been on the phone. And then if you do live in Canada or another country, you can switch it from miles per hour to kilometers very quickly and easily. Now, of course, the EX and above debuts automatic headlights, so we turn those on. The EX-L above has fog lights, which you can also enable to come on automatically. I like to call this a set it and forget it setting, so once you set the lights, you don't have to worry about turning them on or off ever again. Over here, you've got your, of course, windshield washer settings. You've got low, intermediate, and high. Of course, if we give it one push up, we get one burst. If we pull this in, it will soak the windshield. Now coming over here, you get your info display. Very easy to use. You've got a dedicated volume knob, which also doubles as you're turning on and off. So if we just press that button, it turns our audio off. We press it again, it turns us back on. Turning our volume up and down is pretty simple and easy. We've got a couple different buttons up here. Everything's dedicated. So you got your home button, which will bring you back to the home screen here. You've got a nav button. Now the navigation maps on all vehicles that are currently in production, with the exception of the HR-V, are Garmin based maps. So if you've ever used a Garmin or a TomTom, this is going to seem very familiar. Navigating that is very easy. You just simply press the hourglass to go wherever it is you want to go: home, Honda, places, address, restaurants, and you can also set for shopping and add a shortcut to a favorite. You've got a dedicated audio function, so if you want to get from navigation or home, you just press audio. If you want to get to your phone, again, if we had our phone paired to the car, we would see that navigated right here. And then we've also got a dedicated back button. And then down below that we have our screen adjust. So we can adjust the brightness of our screen here. Obviously, being that it's really bright out, the setting is automatically adjusted all the way up so that we can see this really beautiful screen very easily during the day of the brightest time. You've got your dual climate controls. Simply just grabbing this knob here will adjust your temperature. Grabbing this knob will adjust your temperature. Now you can put them together, so anytime you adjust the master knob, it will adjust both. In the middle, you got your climate button. You'll use this button to change the direction of how you have your air coming out based on your preference. You can turn your AC on and off. You can simply just drag your finger to also increase your fan speed. And of course, you have a dedicated fan speed button here, which is the most commonly adjusted fan setting for your vehicle. Down here, of course, you can turn your AC on and off, recycle your air, pull in fresh air. You've got a dedicated front defrost, rear defrost, and heated mirrors. Below each one of your climate control knobs, you've got your heated seats, which feature 3 settings. So high, medium, low, and off. Down here, you've got your brake hold and your auto electric parking brake. So brake hold is a function that allows you to, with your seatbelt on and the vehicle in drive, will actually hold down the brake pressure for you, so that if you're in traffic sitting there and somebody comes up behind you and bumps into you, you'll have a less risk of running into the person in front of you because the car is actually holding down the brake for you. Next to it, you have your Econ, which gives you back fuel savings by restricting your airflow, air temperature, and your throttle response. So if you've got a little bit of a lead foot, you'll find that using this will make your vehicle gain a lot more back in miles per gallon. Now stepping up here, you'll see some of the very familiar features. So obviously as a sunglass holder, featured by a conversation mirror, Honda Home Link, which you can program up to 3 garage clickers in. You've got your button here for opening up your sunroof, which comes standard on EX and above, and a simple push back will close that for you. All one touch, so you don't have to hold it down. Next to it, you've got your button for your lights of the vehicle. Pushing it forward all the way will turn them all on. Putting it in the middle will leave it to just where they will come on when you open your door, and pushing it back will just turn them completely off. You've got an automatic dimming rearview mirror, so once you set this, it will automatically tilt if it detects anything coming through the back windshield as far as lights go. So when that guy's got the lights on really bright at night, it will automatically adjust that for you to make driving a little bit easier. Coming over here, you've got your vanity mirror, which features lights in the mirror as well. If you grab this, pull on it, and actually give it a tug, normally most cars stop about right here. This is it. So the sun usually comes in this way, which is kind of inconvenient. If you just give this a tug, it opens up all the way to get the sun completely out on any time of the day, morning, night, evening. Give that a push back, and then there we go. So guys, that's pretty much it. I've made this kind of long, but I really wanted to go in depth on the CR-V, kind of at a first-person perspective. I haven't gone over everything, so if you have any questions, comment, subscribe, or send me a direct message. And for my customers that I've sent this video to through email, of course, you'll have my direct contact information, which you can find at the bottom of the email header, and of course, on the website. Now, going over one last thing, here in the middle, you got your center console. This does a lot of different things. Pushing this forward will be setting 1, okay? This also goes forward to make living with the other person next to you a lot easier, so you both will have enough elbow room. Pushing that back in, putting it back up, and opening this up here. Push this back. You've got down here another media port, which is what you'll use for your Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is standard on EX and above. Next to it, you've got another USB port, and of course your standard power outlet, which you'll use and see in most all cars. So you've got one here, and you've also got another one up here. Now grabbing this, this is my favorite feature. This is for the ladies out there. If you grab this, it will come completely out, okay? You're going to take that, you're going to slide it down here like this, okay? What this does is it opens up this whole compartment. So you can actually set your purse in here, or any other bag or objects that you might find that you would set over here normally, okay, which will fall if you obviously saw them on the brakes a little too hard. So I like to call this the unofficial purse holder. Okay, I know that sounds a little corny, but it really does work, and it is really awesome. And you'll find this to be an awesome feature if you are a lady and you have a decent-sized purse that will fall on the floor. So if you need to get something out of it, it's right here. It's nice and easy to get to. All right, guys, I know I said that the video was over and it's long. We're at almost 10 minutes now, so any more further questions, just reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to show them to you in person at the dealership. And, of course, you can direct message me through Facebook, and of course through YouTube, and you can also shoot me a text message. You'll find my contact information in the comments section of the video. Have a good one, and thanks for watching.